Since the beginning of this year, the Russians have not allowed the U.S. to export to them any poultry products at all. And on the Delaware Peninsula, and along with a number of other places in the country, that's a big deal. You don't have to go back that many years ago when most of the poultry that was raised in this country was consumed in this country. Today, 1 out of every 5 chickens that we raise, we export, we sell abroad. Russia's the biggest foreign market. They buy a whole lot of dark meat. And for the balance of this year, since the beginning of this year, the Russians have not allowed us to export any chickens. So what it does is it harms the price of chickens. It drives it down. Happen to be a poultry grower, that's not a good thing. And we've really just closed off a big part of our market. What happened now, Russians have agreed since the beginning of, from this point forward, to allow us to start selling our chickens again. There's some people in Russia, including Putin, who would like, who's the prime minister now, they want to be able to grow their own domestic poultry market, and one of the ways to do that is to keep our chickens out. And so they manufactured an excuse to keep our chickens out, saying that they weren't sanitary and on, not really true. And but it worked in keeping our chickens out. There's something that the Russians wanted. They wanted us to support their admission into something called the World Trade Organization, and we want to be able to sell a lot of chicken to Russia. They, I think, are going to get what they want, at least our support for their admission to the World Trade Organization. We're going to get what we want, and that's for the Russians to buy a whole lot of chicken. Every year, the leading nations and the mightiest, strongest economic nations in the world meet together. It's a meeting called G8, and there's a larger group called the G20 that they meet. They're going to be meeting up in, I think, Canada this weekend. They started having their pre-meetings today. I was, along with a number of my colleagues, wrote a letter, sent a letter to the president. 25 of us signed it in order to encourage President Obama, when he met with the Russian president, to make this a priority, to beat down the Russian protectionism, so that we can renew our exports of poultry to Russia. I met and spoke this week with the U.S. Agricultural Secretary, with the U.S. Trade Representative, with the U.S. Secretary of Commerce, all part of the Obama administration, saying when the president meets with his Russian counterpart later this week, that will be Thursday today, I'll make sure that this is a priority. God bless him, he made it a priority, and we've gotten what we want. Around the country, people have, agriculture is an important part of the economy. Some places, cattle are important. In some cases, pigs are important. In some cases, cotton is important. On the Delaware Peninsula, chickens are important. And the lion's share of our agriculture industry is chickens. And it sort of helps with soybeans, corn. We raise them in order to feed the chickens. We have chicken processing plants, poultry processing plants, put thousands of people to work. There's a lot of jobs that flow from the poultry industry. And when 20% of your poultry these days are sold overseas, and we get shut out of our biggest overseas market, that ain't a good thing. And today's news is very good news.